I've got huge news for you. XRP futures are going to be approved by the CME. This is a critical piece of the puzzle to have the spot ETF approved. And Cantor Fitzgerald, Tether, and Softbank are forming a new company to invest in Bitcoin. This is a huge partnership. And the Federal Reserve just made it official that US banks can participate with crypto. I'll give you the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button, as well as a thumbs up button, and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a rating and review. Folks, huge news around XRP. The CME is launching XRP Futures. Here's what they tweeted out. Starting May 19th, trade regulated capital efficient futures on XRP available in large and micro-sized contracts so you can scale your exposure with greater precision and flexibility. Folks, this is huge for the spot ETF approval. The SEC looks at the CME as kind of the golden standard for futures because it's huge. We're talking about the Chicago Mercantile Exchange here, right? So a lot of the major futures markets are set up here. Now, we saw futures launch on Coinbase and Bitnomial, but those are small fish compared to this whale, if you understand what I'm saying here. So this is a critical piece of the puzzle to have the XRP Spot ETF approved. Things are moving ahead, and the SEC, I believe, will have no other choice but to approve an XRP Spot ETF, in addition to a Solana ETF and other altcoins. But I believe XRP and Solana are the top two that will get approved because they have these features at the CME. This is huge news if you're an XRP holder. And here's what Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse had to say. While overdue in a bunch of ways, this is an incredibly important and exciting step in the continued growth of the XRP market. Huge news here, guys. And we'll see when these spot ETFs get approved. Paul Atkins, of course, just got sworn in. So could we see something by the end of Q2, or could it come later in the year in Q3? We'll have to wait and see. But I think there's a high probability it happens this year. I don't think this gets delayed. I mean, you just look at how pro-crypto the SEC is, and you have all the necessary components, especially the futures markets, and I think the stage is set for the approval, and this is going to benefit XRP significantly. Now, guys, some really big news. Strike CEO Jack Mallers to lead Bitcoin Investment Company backed by Tether, Softbank, and Brandon Lutnik. Brandon Lutnik, of course, related to Howard Lutnik, who is the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald. And we know Howard Lutnik is the Secretary of Commerce in the Trump administration. So I often tell you guys, just look at what the people around Trump are doing as it relates to crypto, his kids, and much more. And please tell me how you're not bullish. Now, you may not like Trump, and that's fine. There's a whole other politics side to this. But on this podcast, we focus more on crypto, of course. And if you see the moves being made here, that these people are doing these investments and setting up these companies, what do you think they're expecting? Do you think they're expecting all this to crash and go down to zero and the bull market's over, like some people are saying? No, folks. Read between the lines here. This is huge. So let me give you the details. So Brandon Lutnik, son of U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnik and chair of Cantor Fitzgerald, is launching a listed Bitcoin investment vehicle backed by Softbank, Tether, and Bitfinex, and headed by co-founder Jack Mallers, the CEO of Bitcoin-focused payments app Strike, the company to be called 21 Capital after merging with Cantor Equity Partners, a special purpose acquisition company, or a SPAC, will be majority owned by Tether, issuer of the largest stablecoin and cryptocurrency exchange Bitfinex. The company said in a statement, Softbank, an investment holding company, will own a significant minority stake. So folks, I mean, look at what's happening. This is massive. So you're going to have more companies, publicly traded companies, that are going to be buying Bitcoin. I hope you see where we're headed. This is a huge partnership. You got banks involved, a major Wall Street firm such as Cantor Fitzgerald. Incredible stuff. I mean, I've known of Cantor Fitzgerald going back to the 90s because my parents knew people who worked there. And then, of course, Cantor, they suffered a great loss in 9/11. And now fast forward what 20 something years later and to see them involving crypto, it's incredible stuff. And it just shows where we're headed, and this technology is here to stay, this asset class is here to stay. And count yourself lucky you're here early, guys, because we still got ways to go. Now, Michael Saylor today held a Bitcoin Standard Corporation's Investor Day. He often does this to educate businesses and much more. And he made a prediction that the BlackRock's IBIT, which is their Bitcoin ETF, spot ETF, will be the biggest ETF in the world in 10 years. I believe him. I think this is absolutely true because BlackRock's behind it, right? So they are the world's wealthiest asset managers, so they're going to funnel a lot of capital in. And look at what we've seen already. Explosive growth, the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs. So this is not far-fetched or outlandish. I think he's spot on. I think this is going to be the biggest ETF, especially if the United States sets up a Bitcoin reserve and different governments and companies around the world continue on this trend of buying Bitcoin, mining Bitcoin, and much more. Now, look at this, folks. Today, the Federal Reserve at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, today, April 24th, released the following document. And my God, is this bullish. Here's the headline. Federal Reserve Board announces the withdrawal of guidance for banks related to their crypto asset and dollar token activities and related changes to its expectations for these activities. Essentially, they're saying, hey, banks, you can participate. You don't need a hall pass anymore from us. We're going to review the macro to make sure there's financial stability, but you don't have to come in and check with us. You can go ahead and get involved in crypto activities and do what you need to do. So no longer, right, kind of related to Operation Choke Point 2.0 and all the red tape that was happening over the past 4 years. It's gone, folks. We got the FDIC to back off. We got the OCC to back off. And now the head of the snake, the Federal Reserve. Now, guys, think about this. The Federal Reserve is saying it's okay. You got the rubber stamp of approval. This is so bullish. If you think about what's happening here, that the banks can get involved. Because remember, SAB 121 got repealed. Operation Choke Point 2.0 taken down. We've seen the FDIC and the OCC both do the similar thing here, but the Fed is the one that gives the ultimate green light. And my God, I am so bullish, guys. And if you caught my interview with David Mercer, who's the CEO of LMAX Group, I published it this morning. Go watch it, guys, because we talk about this. He literally said to guys today that banks will get involved, and the ultimate green light has to come from the Fed. And lo and behold, literally the same day this happens. I am blown away. I am bullish. There's going to be people in the comment section who are emotional and don't understand the impact of these things and what's happening. And they're like, oh, the bear market's here, blah, 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 blah. The price is not moving right now because they don't have a macro view, right? They don't understand how this all works. Guys, this is just massive, massive news. I'm not overstating it. The Federal Reserve is giving the banks the green light saying, hey, look, go do what you got to do. And look, you can participate. We're not going to restrict you like we have in the past. This is incredible stuff. Folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is VeChain, which is one of the top layer one enterprise blockchains out there. VeChain is working with many big brands and companies around the world to build Web3 and sustainability projects on the blockchain. Some of the key features of the VeChain blockchain includes it's secure, affordable, scalable, fast, and sustainable. Some of the companies they're working with include Givenchy, Walmart China, BMW, PwC, that's one of the top 4 accounting firms in the world, and even Boston Consulting Group. I'm a VET token holder. I have been since 2018. I'm very bullish on this project. I've often interviewed the CEO, Sunny Liu, and they just formed a major partnership with Dana White and the UFC to promote blockchain rewards for healthier living and even taking care of the environment, cleaning up garbage and all that stuff, guys. So this is the future, all these activities on the blockchain. and incentivizing people, and VeChain is leading the charge here, guys. So if you'd like to learn more, go to vchain.org. Now, folks, incredible news coming out of Russia. We know crypto is a global asset class, but look at this. Russia to launch a crypto exchange for super qualified investors. Essentially, it's like a state-owned crypto exchange. Now, would I want to use a state-owned crypto exchange? No. But to each his own. This is going to be powered by the Russia's central bank and finance ministry, and they're probably setting it up for their wealthy investors. And the average retail investor won't be able to use this, it seems like, because it says you're highly qualified investors, possibly Russian oligarchs or something. I don't know. But nevertheless, whether you love or hate Russia and everything that's going on over there, put that aside for a second. Every country, every central bank. We've been talking about Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, and all these different countries are coming out of the woodwork, setting up crypto advisory roles, doing all kinds of stuff. It's incredible. Global adoption is taking place here. Now, check this news out, guys. Crypto FIFA video game launching on mobile devices in June. So gaming is going to be a big part of what brings people into crypto and Web3, because there's different demographics around the world and you got to meet people where they're at. So Mystical Games plans to release its FIFA-inspired mobile game in June. The company said in November that FIFA Rivals would be available this year on Apple and Android devices. So in recent years, Mythical Games, the company behind all this, of course, has attracted significant investment capital. In 2021, the company raised $150 million in a Series C funding round led by A16Z, bringing the startup's total valuation to $1.25 billion at the time. Now, they haven't been able to get as much traction yet. I don't think anyone has figured out the right incentives and the right infrastructure to have people participate, or even if they haven't built the infrastructure to the real world where you can take your digital collectibles and the tokens and the NFTs and these things that you earn and have it be used by companies and merchants out there. You need that interoperability, so to speak, to the real world, right? The bridge. And even so, there has been some roadblocks with Apple and some of these mobile app platforms. So when you have it in the marketplace and you don't have to worry about Apple kicking you out and doing all these things, and then you can go talk to Amazon or this retail and whatever, and you have this ability to move these things around seamlessly, that will help adoption. I think that's the roadblock right now. Because even if the game's great and you earn all these great things that are on the blockchain and you have in your digital wallet, where can you take it out to the real world? And is there the societal awareness? Because many of you know certain things appear in pop culture where people know things about video games or movies or celebrities. It has to get to that point. Oh, I play this game and I can earn this token and I can trade it with people and talk about it on social media and all that. It's not there yet. It hasn't gotten that kind of a viral moment, if you want to call it that. We need that, right? And we've seen it with regular games in the past and different things like that. So these Web3 crypto games need to have that moment. And I think we will get there soon as things are opening up for crypto now and the bridges and the infrastructure are being built. Now, speaking of that, guys, Alexander Dreyfus, who is the founder of Chili's, this was something I talked about years ago when it was starting to pop up, I think 2020-ish around that time. But because there wasn't the regulatory clarity, the SEC going after everything, it kind of died down. But essentially, this is Web3 and sports. So, for example, teams, sports teams being able to create their own tokens and reward tokens. So, as you can imagine, the securities questions came into mind, and Gary Gensler would have hit that with a hammer right away, right? Wells notice and lawsuit. So, a lot of these companies backed off. But Alexander, he's tweeted out that he was in Washington, D.C. He was meeting a lot of different stakeholders in the government and advocacy groups. He said, spent last 24 hours in Washington, D.C. to explore how we can invest in the U.S. again and launch fan tokens. As it's actually public, you can see on the SEC website what we are trying to achieve. Very early stage, but also very promising in the long term, bringing SportFi in the United States. This is going to be a big one, folks. I follow basketball, football. There's teams I love. And I'm sure many of you listening as well, if you follow sports, And if you can hold a token and be rewarded in different ways and get special access, who wouldn't want that, right? And then once again, you have the verifiability. It's in your digital wallet and it will allow you to do a lot more. You can possibly lend it out and earn income. There's so many possibilities because of the tokens sitting on the blockchain and the verifiability. So imagine this getting opened up. There's huge markets of people in the sports world. If you just put it all together, baseball, hockey, the NFL, the football, basketball, and much more, tennis, right? There's so much possibilities here, guys. So I love what I'm seeing. I'm going to try to get Alexander on the podcast to talk about this. This is just huge stuff here, guys. Well, that's the news, folks. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Folks, a great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And my new course at mycryptocourse.com. Expand your crypto knowledge. Knowledge is power. This is a comprehensive course that features expert commentary. That's what makes it unique from any other course out there. You will hear from founders, CEOs, institutional investors, developers, and much more. This course has video, downloadable materials, text write-ups, and much more. So if you'd like to learn more, go to mycryptocourse.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.